Hello. Are you a professional wrestler who wants to make more money from their merchandise? Are you the kind of person that wants to be able to come home after a long day at work and say, "Hey baby, I had a great show today. Hey, I can afford a takeaway, my treat." Except the reality is more like you come home and go, "Hey baby, I had a great time at work today and now we can't afford to eat because I spent all my money at the petrol station." Well then, this is the video for you. My name is Ollie Burns. I perform on wrestling shows as Priscilla, Queen of the Ring, and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 tips for making more money from your merchandise. Tip number 1 is always act like a star. By that, I don't mean walk around refusing to sign people's autographs because you're too important. What I mean is remember the fact that people have paid a ticket to come and see a professional show, and they expect to see professional performers entertaining them. When that audience then goes to the merchandise stand, they don't expect the people behind the tables to be any less professional. Look, you and me both know that this might be only your second time on a wrestling show and you're still really excited to be here. Maybe you're debuting for a new company that night and the fact that you're there is just really exciting. End of the day, the audience could care less. They are individual people who have paid their money to come and see a professional show. And when they go up to the merchandise stand, they expect to be met by professionals. So always ask yourself, if I'm going up there to buy merchandise, what do I expect to see when it comes to meeting wrestlers? How are they going to carry themselves? How are they going to talk to me? And then try and project that image into what you're doing when you go out to sell your own merchandise. Give them something back. Give them a professional experience. Greet them, smile, shake their hands, take a photo with them, comment on their lovely shoes, whatever it takes to make them feel at ease and feel valued. I guarantee if you come across pleasant, professional, and just spend a little moment with each person showing that they are valued, you'll find that they will just buy more merchandise from you. It's just that simple. Act like a professional wrestler and you should sell more merchandise. Tip number 2, variety. Cheap variety. So we've all seen the merch stands where you get to the table and then you have 16 copies of the exact same Johnny Storm t-shirt. You move to the next table and you've got 16 copies of the exact same Doug Williams t-shirt. And you go to the next table and then there's suddenly like 80 different prints of Bullet Club t-shirts. Just the fact that there are a variety of Bullet Club t-shirts tells you straight away that that is a brand that can afford to produce different lines of merchandise. And as a result, it immediately sets in your mind that they are a bigger deal than the people who just have one t-shirt. Now, depending on where you go for your t-shirt designs, you may find getting different designs made very expensive. But I do have a little trick for you that will make you look like you have a huge variety in a second, and it won't cost you any more than it would to order a normal bunch of t-shirts. There's a reason why having a variety of t-shirts makes it look like a big brand, and that's because it is expensive to get it done in the first place, so you do generally have to be a big brand to do it. But fear not, I have a little trick that will help you cut the cost of that down straight away and make you look like you've got a big variety of t-shirts right from day one. The trick would be to get different colours printed of the same t-shirt design. This is particularly easy to do if your design itself is just black or maybe black and white, so you can print it on multiple different colours. But essentially, when you're actually ordering bulk loads of gear that you're going to take to a wrestling show, there's nothing stopping you from speaking to the company and saying, "I don't want 50 black t-shirts, I want 10 black t-shirts, 10 red t-shirts, 10 blue t-shirts." Then all of a sudden, you've turned up with a whole variety of stuff to this show. And whilst you have only spent the same amount of money as your colleague next to you who's got 50 black t-shirts, you now have 5 different colours, and anybody who walks past is going to go, "Whoa, all these different colours." They get to pick their favourite colour, they get to collect the lot. Like, you can sell multiple t-shirts to the same person. You can't do that if you're just selling one t-shirt design. So if you get multiple t-shirts printed, then you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I highly recommend it. It's a good way to maximise your spends and make your stand look particularly exciting compared to your competitors. Tip number 3, different size merchandise. I'm not just talking about t-shirts here, that's a bit obvious, but what I am talking about is 8x10s. Most wrestlers will have autograph cards, picture cards that people can buy so they can get it signed. Kids love them, it's a lovely little takeaway, and for parents it's usually a nice cheap win as far as merchandise is concerned. Nevertheless, if you have a variety of 8x10s, it means people then have options, and what that allows you to do is make yourself, first of all, look like a star because you've got a bigger variety. It also means if you're selling a big 8x10 for a £5 and a small one for £3, then you're probably going to absolutely clean up. And why are you going to make a load of money from this? Because when they're walking through the merchandise stand and the kid says, "Daddy, I want that 8x10, and Daddy says, well, it's £5, then you lose that sale. Whereas if that kid goes, "Daddy, I want that 8x10, and Dad says, that's £5, but this one is only £3, then you've got yourself a win. The trick, of course, is that all of these are fairly cheap to print, so you're probably looking at 5 to 10p a print for these. If you get an absolute pile of these cheap ones, selling them at £3 a piece, you're going to make so much more money than if you just had the £5 options that people have to go, Now you have an alternative where people are saving money. The reality is that you are making money you never would have done otherwise. Tip number 4. Advertise your merch. I don't think I know any wrestlers who don't have some kind of merchandise, but at the same time, I couldn't tell you what most of their merchandise is. Why? Because the only time I see it is when I go see them at a wrestling show once every other month. If you look at my Facebook feed, I am regularly posting about the QWO merchandise, I'm regularly posting about Priscilla merchandise, and that's because when I regularly do it, as painful as it feels, people do end up buying it. People respect brands, people respect personalities, and people respect entertainers, and they are conditioned to be sold to. That's what the world does these days. So don't feel bad about saying, "Hey everybody, buy my t-shirt." In fact, you're not doing it anywhere enough. Remind people your merchandise is available. If they don't want to buy your merchandise, they won't buy your merchandise, but they're not going to crucify you because this is your job. What they might do, however, is see your merchandise again and again and again, and after a few months go, "You know what, it's payday and I do like that guy, I'm going to buy his tees. Why not? It's 20 quid. Which is why I'm constantly filling my feed with links to onthegear.co.uk where you can buy your own QWO merchandise. You will look fabulous in it as well, darlings. The reason why I do this is because it becomes fun. It becomes part of who I am. And if you want to be a part of Priscilla, then you need to get some merchandise. Just talk about it. I've worked in sales and marketing now for a little under 10 years. And in this whole time, I have never seen anyone ever sell anything without asking if somebody wants to buy it. So with that in mind, remind people your merchandise is available. When you're at a live show, wear your t-shirt out when you're meeting fans. Make sure they look at your merchandise. It's okay to say, "Hey, I'm selling this stuff." You're a professional, you're allowed to sell it. So tell people and advertise your merch. Tip number 5, bit of a take it or leave it one, bit of an optional choice, but always remember there is the option to sell your gear. Okay, so I'm not suggesting you just strip off naked for the highest bidder. What I am suggesting is that once you're done with a piece of gear, that's going to go in the loft, it's going to go under the bed, you probably won't ever wear it again. So with that in mind, does it actually hurt to hang the gear up on a coat hanger behind your merch stand with a price tag on it that says £300? No, doesn't hurt one bit. And it's very unlikely you're going to sell that gear for £300. But you know what? One day you might bump into somebody who actually really wants that bit of memorabilia. And there's lots of reasons why people would want this bit of genuine wrestling memorabilia. Some of those reasons, less cool than others, but at the end of the day, that's why it's an optional choice for yourselves. You decide what you want to sell. However, I will say that if somebody is willing to spend £300 on a pair of wrestling gear, then they really want your wrestling gear. And if you are a professional wrestler, then I can guarantee that you really want £300. So when you're done with a pair of wrestling gear, then just remember there is an option to sell it. Stick it up on Facebook, see what happens, put it up for an auction. You might not get anything from it, or you might pay your next 4 sets of gear with it. And it could be a huge money saver, and it could prevent you from having to spend out of your own pocket when it comes to new gear. So there you have it, folks. Those are my top 5 tips on how to make money from your merchandise. So don't forget to always be a professional. If you can, try to get a range of t-shirt colours. A variety of picture sizes is always useful and should help you make more sales and maximise revenue. Do not forget to advertise what you're selling. You won't sell a single unit if people don't know that it's actually available. And if you're done with a pair of gear and you don't want it anymore, don't be afraid to advertise it and see if anybody wants to buy it. Hope you found all of this interesting. I certainly enjoyed giving it to you, but if you have any questions, any other thoughts, any other bits of advice, or just want to get the discussion going, please do leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back on here, we'll get the conversation back and forth, and we'll see what we can learn from each other. While I've got you here, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. 1, click the subscribe button down below. That will guarantee that you never miss out on any of the future content we bring to you week to week. And number 2, go to www.onthegear.co.uk and, have a look, maybe buy yourself a QWO t-shirt. I know that you like looking good and I know that I like eating. So if you buy one, it's very much appreciated. I'm Ollie Burns. Today we've been going over how to make the most out of your merchandise. I hope you've enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing you soon. Keep studying.